What if we told you that one phone call could potentially make you tens of thousands of dollars? It is literally that simple if you have a personal injury claim and don't try to handle it yourself. Richard Griffin of the Griffin Law Firm is here to tell us about one man's $70,000 mistake. What happened?
Well, he almost made a $70,000 mistake.
Good.
Luckily, he called us. But what happened was he's a University of Georgia student, and he was on a motorcycle and driving on the campus, beautiful day, and someone pulled right out in front of him. And he ended up being knocked to the ground. He broke his ankle, had a torn ligament, needed to have an ambulance, had to go to the emergency room, had to have surgery to fix a torn ligament, and then had to have a cast for a long period of time. Had a lot of medical expenses. And this is one where he was hoping to save some money, and so he tried to represent himself. He called the adjuster. The adjuster said, $30,000 is all we got. Now, $30,000 to someone, I mean, if you get a $30,000 offer and you're not represented, then that should be the clue that it's worth a whole lot more than that.
Really?
And yes, because normally offers with people who don't have any insurance, don't have an attorney, is going to be small, $500 or $1,000. Well, he called us up before he signed the release and before he'd settled the case, and we ended up getting a sworn affidavit of coverage, which we always identify all the insurance. Turned out it was a $50,000 policy, and the insurance adjuster said, I just meant $30,000 is all I could offer. But the client was furious because he said, no, I was told that the policy limits were $30,000. So that would have been a $20,000 mistake. And then we got to tell him, hey, there you have a policy that also covers it for another $50,000. So that could have been a $70,000 mistake if he had tried to save a little money and represent himself. We even had a case that I settled just last week for $100,000, and it was with a limited release because there was more insurance we were going to go after. They sent the check, and on the check it said full and final general release of all claims. So they were trying to wipe out the additional insurance on one that had an attorney on it. So it is very, very easy to make a mistake, and it can cost you a lot.
And we should talk about, when something like that happens and you think, I might not have any injuries, and you end up having injuries, how many expenses you're going to have that you haven't thought of right when the accident happens, that's what you know.
Right.
To
Even
tell
on
them.
small cases, you're going to have a lot of times the lost wages.
Yes.
You're going to have the medical expenses. You may not get the treatment you need because you're afraid of the expense, and that may mean that you don't get physically better. It also means that it gives that adjuster that opening to say, hey, I don't think you're really hurt because you didn't get that treatment. So calling 877 Pain Law right from the beginning means that we can help you in so many ways. There's also a lot of those secondary policies that are called uninsured or underinsured. They require written notice in their policy, and if you don't get that written notice out timely, and each policy is different when that deadline is, you can lose that coverage altogether.
I imagine the deck is really stacked against you when you have an injury because the insurance companies know exactly how to, and they might make an offer that sounds really great, but if you just would make a call to you, you could get so much more.
That's right, and there's so much to lose because injuries, not only do you have the impact of your medical expenses, your lost wages, you also, those specific examples of how it impacted your life in a negative way. Maybe you weren't able to exercise and spend time with your family or spend time at the park, or maybe it affected your job. Or maybe your injuries were so severe that it's going to make it where you're going to have to change jobs altogether. You used to have a job that required physical lifting, and now you're going to have to get retrained. Well, that is something without an attorney, you'll never get paid for your future lost income.
Well, and it's something you don't think about, and that's what you're trained to do, is to think about all the repercussions of what happens with a single accident. So it's just a phone call. That's free.
It's free.
It's
free. And there's no
free.
retainers of any kind. It's a contingency fee contract, so that means you don't pay anything unless we get you the settlement that you authorize. And so it's a win-win situation.
You got nothing to lose with that phone call. Richard, thank you so much. Don't forget to get the help you need. Contact the Griffin Law Firm. It is called 1-877-PAIN-LAW. You can also log on to 877painlaw.com.